Let's talk about a different kind of war. One fought not with bombs, but with bank accounts. Economic warfare is all about crippling a country's economy to force its leaders to change course, without firing a shot. Instead of soldiers, the weapons are trade bans, frozen assets, and blocked access to technology. Imagine a global game of Jenga, where countries pull out each other's economic blocks, hoping the tower collapses. This strategy is now a go-to move in modern geopolitics. Leaders can sound tough without risking lives. Economic warfare is slow and relentless, more like a series of paper cuts than a knockout punch. The goal? To make life so difficult for a nation that it's forced to back down. It's a high-stakes chess match, where the pieces are trade deals and financial networks. But while it may seem cleaner than military conflict, the real impact is felt by ordinary people, not just politicians. Economic warfare is anything but victimless. The main weapon of economic warfare? Sanctions. Sanctions are penalties, like being grounded on a global scale. Break the rules and you're cut off from trade, banking, and assets. They come in many forms, blocking exports like oil, banning imports of technology, or freezing a country's money in foreign banks. The most powerful sanctions cut nations off from international payment systems, making global business nearly impossible. Sanctions work best when many countries act together, building an economic wall that's hard to get around. The idea is to inflict enough pain to force a government to change its behavior. But it's a gamble. Sometimes it works, sometimes it just creates new problems. Sanctions are precise in theory, but messy in practice. They're the world's favorite passive-aggressive tool. Russia's 2022 invasion of Ukraine triggered the most sweeping sanctions campaign in history. The US, EU, UK, and allies froze Russian banks out of SWIFT, locked up the central bank's reserves, and targeted oligarchs with asset freezes and travel bans. Trade restrictions slashed Russia's oil and gas revenue, while export controls blocked access to vital technology. The ruble crashed, panic spread, and Russia became the world's most sanctioned nation overnight. Moscow scrambled to stabilize its economy by turning to new partners like China and India. But the long-term goal is a slow economic squeeze, making the war too costly to sustain. This is economic warfare at its most coordinated and relentless. Russia's experience is a textbook case of how sanctions are wielded on a grand scale. Sanctions hit a country's economy like a sudden illness. The first symptom? A currency crisis. Confidence evaporates, inflation soars, and money loses value fast. Foreign businesses pull out, investment dries up, and skilled workers leave for better opportunities. Industries reliant on foreign tech and parts start to stagnate, falling behind global competitors. Government revenues collapse as exports are blocked, forcing painful cuts to public services. The economy shrinks, unemployment rises, and daily life gets harder for everyone. The government may talk about self-sufficiency, but the reality is a slow, grinding decline. Sanctions force a nation to turn inward, becoming less efficient and more isolated. The ultimate aim: trigger a deep recession and weaken the country's global standing. It's economic de-development, pushing a nation backwards. Sanctions may target governments, but it's ordinary people who pay the price. Everyday life becomes a struggle. Food prices soar, medicine grows scarce, and jobs disappear. Even humanitarian goods like medicine can be hard to import, leaving patients with impossible choices. Technology breaks down, airlines can't get spare parts, and digital services vanish. People feel cut off from the world, isolated and anxious about the future. Sanctions can make the poor poorer and the sick sicker, punishing entire populations. Sometimes they even strengthen the leaders they're meant to weaken. Economic warfare is a powerful but blunt tool, with consequences that ripple through every layer of society. Next time you hear about sanctions, remember, behind the headlines are real lives living on hard mode.